Welcome back, guys, to another episode here on the Dawson Mulchmate YouTube channel. I'm Nick Carlson. I'm the CEO of Dawson Manufacturing. As you can see, we're in one part of our facility of multiple, and I'm going to show you something here that's really super cool. And it's already sold. I want to shoot this video for you before we head it out, or it got shipped out today. So let's jump into it.
Okay, let's go.
All right, so here we go. Had the guys pull this out, and these are actually covered because it's the same thing, but it's like a protective measure we do. Look at this. This is what we call the SMC 11. So this is a switch and go style can that we have made all kinds of different adjustments to, beefed it up, made things thicker, stronger, taller, and we're gonna get into all that here in this video, so stay tuned. All right, guys, so we're gonna start back here. Of course, the most important part is the Mulchmate here on the back. You got the DS1000 here strapped on the back, and notice the size of these posts. My hands are 10 inches. That's 10 inches. That's a 10-inch beam. You see that? 10 inches. You can see the top. It's like I think it's 5 by 10. I think is what that beam is. You've got steel tube here, tarp arm bar here, solid rod, and then a rub rail. We'll get into more of the can here in a second. Of course, the legs, but the Mulchmate on the back here. So all you gotta do is pull this guy off here, drop it in there, shove that up, and voila. And look at that. So that can is not connected to a truck. And look at it. This is all on its own, swinging, no hands. Look at it go. So you can see that's like the worst point for it. It's swung out all the way like that. And it's not tipping, it's not lifting. There's no tricks to any of this. Look at that. There's no legs, there's no chains, there's no truck. Just the Mulchmate hanging off the back. This guy does have the optional wheelbarrow rack down here, which is really sweet. We changed the design. We changed this to a hex head. It used to be carriage bolts like this, and it was difficult to install that. This makes it exponentially easier. We also have updated the hinge a little bit. Our stop bolts are new. So these guys here, you can see the design there, how it kind of hits right there. And then this guy here will end up hitting right where that little damage in the powder coat is, because that's where it bumps into it. So that's a lot easier. Got a stop bolt down here, and the same thing like this is on the bottom. So that's really nice and new. We've got really improved, just little tiny finite details. So this is new. This little extra portion here is we just kind of extended this over just to kind of beef this up so it would help with any kind of flex. Same with this guy. We added this guy in here. Really, really nice. And of course, you got all the wires and all that, just like we always do. Ladder at the bottom. Of course, you have the tool basket here. Everybody kind of forgets that this thing has this nice tool basket. And keep in mind, when this thing's up on a truck, these tabs drop down. So if you're vertically challenged, you can just voila. And notice how it kind of slams. So watch. These shocks, can you see that shock is kind of on an angle right there? So this, when you go to open it, it wants to shut. So in case your guys forget to lock it, right here, there's a pin there. And you can put a lock here. These shocks will actually kind of hold the whole system closed. So that's really nice. Let's go ahead and shut this bad boy. So like, look, I'm just gonna give it a push. Isn't that cool? And it just swings all the way around. All I gotta do is push it over towards the hinge, like so. And like, I'm not even gonna do anything here. Voila. It's that simple. And then this is where you can put a lock right down here. Now we give you this little pin just to make sure it's, positive lock. All right, so the can, this video is all about this SMC 11. We call it the Switchmate can SMC 11 footer. It's actually a 12, but the industry calls 11 because the floor has an angle like right here. I don't know if you can see that weld right there. So from that point back is 11 foot. So this is a switch and go style can, and we have hook lifts and roll offs, but there's where the hook hooks. Extra thick plate. thick plates here. This is all thick, solid steel on both sides. Got your rollers, okay? But the big thing that we changed is those I-beams right there. Those I-beams are 10 inches tall. And what that allows us to do, that allows us to get the bed higher. So the guys are doing top dressers or taller wheelbarrows, muck buggies, whatever. It gets this whole can up off the ground, and it gives you a lot more just maneuverability. Also, when you go to put these on the back of these trucks, yeah, there's toolboxes, there's fenders, gas nozzles, all kinds of stuff that gets in the way. And with the old design, there was only a 3-inch I-beam down there. With this one, it's 10, so it gets everything up above it, and everything clears perfectly. Like, it's absolutely awesome. What we also did in the change over the years is this leg used to be here. And when you would pull this can to the truck, so the truck would sit kind of, right in here, that leg could hit the bumper about here. So I was like, guys, why don't we move it down here? And I actually had to switch vendors on this because of some of these changes. They wouldn't make the changes. So now I have my own vendor making it, and it's really, really good. It's actually a really nice product. But we move the legs in, and they're flippable, so that handle can get flipped to the other side, and it's all telescopic. So pull this pin, and this whole thing will slide up inside of this tube, and you can kind of see this tube is real big, all the way up into here. And then you have the folding legs, which are fully adjustable, so you can move them up and down. You have a hole there, hole there, hole there, hole there, and that whole leg pivots right up, so it'll kind of stick in right in through here, which is real nice. So once you get this can most of the way up there, that's awesome. Something else that a lot of people don't do, and as a matter of fact, I don't do it on our DMTs, and I probably should, but on these guys, I added this ladder. So this ladder on the door, plus this is a lockable ladder. So you push it in, push down, like so. So when you're filling this up, if you have to tarp this for whatever reason, get up in there, whatever it is you're doing, you can climb up the ladder, and then you go up the wall, because if this door can't open because it's full, how are you supposed to get down? So instead of, climbing down and putting your foot on this, or the bar, the handle, you actually have, a nice set of stairs to go down. The other big thing about our design is this is a pull. Hello, big truck. Ooh, nice private jet. So this is a pull-in design door. We had to move this latch mechanism out of here so you didn't trip on it. And there's really no maneuverability in here to actually operate, one of these to do this, right? So now all you do is that, and the whole door swings open. Now, what you got to remember when you go to shut this will actually pull. See that arm right doing there? Watch. Doing this one hand, it's kind of tough. So when you do this, it actually pulls the door tighter to the body. And of course, you can lock it like any normal trailer. So that's a really nice setup, really, really strong, beefy. Got some real nice beefy hinges on it here. I mean, this stuff is that's not thin, cheap 1/8-inch steel. It's all 1/4-inch steel, real nice. And so what we do is we make this a 52-inch door. Typically it sits in front of the axle, so it's nice balance on your truck. And then you have the ladders, you have the tarp arms, and then the rub rails, right? So the rub rails were something I just wanted to make sure, it's an industry standard thing. We put the reflective tape on there, and something else that a lot of people don't realize, reflective tape has a correct way of being put on. It's always red to the rear. So notice this is a red dash here. Notice that's a white one, but there's a red back there. All that is done on purpose. Take a look over here. See, red rear, white on the side, red rear. That is all spec'd out and done. Of course, we got America. We spec all that out specifically that way. So we have everything lined out perfectly for you. So one of the biggest questions I get when it comes to these dropping containers, roll-offs and all this other stuff, guys are like, oh, can you go on mine? Yes, but there's a lot of modification. It's really not worth it. And my opinion is, you're a landscaper, I'm a manufacturer, I'm the one that has all the specs on all this, I know what it all needs, every little detail's thought through, and it's not worth your time to go cutting up another can that's all rusted and busted up or whatever. You buy one of these, you get to work, and you rock and roll. And one of our last customers just bought one of these, said the same thing. He's like, oh, I'm gonna go make my own. And I'm like, dude, I wouldn't. His name was Nick, really nice guy. Like, I wouldn't do that. And I explained to him this whole concept of, dude, the time that you could fabricate your own can, you probably could have gone out and sold $100,000 worth of work. So he understood that. He spent the money. He did it. He loves it. So when it comes to these cans, it's super important to understand that there's a lot more to these than just a can. And I'll give you a few specifics. Number one, we have a side door. Okay, side door is big enough to put a pallet through. It's got the ladders on it. We've already kind of gone over that. These drop down legs, these are not easy to build. These are beefy, they're strong. They're meant to handle what we're putting on here. And you got to keep in mind, when you have this thing fully loaded with, say, stone, right? And then you're tipping it off the truck, these wheels and these legs see an incredible amount of pressures that most landscapers aren't going to understand how to run the numbers to make sure they build something that's going to withstand the test of time. This system will. We understand it. We laser the parts. We don't blow through it with a torch and drill them and all that. It's all done with lasers, so it's all very precise, very perfect, and it's going to work out really well for you. The other thing is we put in these bigger posts to hold the rear, for the mulch mate on the rear. We also space out all these uprights, rub rails in a specific location. This is also a tube right here. So you can see it. That's a tube right there. Big I-beams, big center supports. There's your latch mechanism right there for the switch and go system. It's going to lock in. That's a Gen 1 or Gen 2. We also run the bed width thinner. That way the material, as it's sliding into the mulch mate, it's straight in. There is no waviness or funneling or anything like that, creating pressures that we don't want to see. It is absolutely perfect. It's a square body. It's going to last you for years and years. You can also buy a tarp arm or a tarp kit for this, a power tarp arm kit for this, rear barn doors for it. The inside of this bed, I don't know if you saw this, inside of here, I'm just going to crawl up through the outside. That's all UHMW liner right there. And then you got your spring clamps. I don't know why that UHMW piece there is bent like that, but we're going to flip it and put some pop rivets in it, so that'll be good to go. This system is absolutely going to be the best bet for you and your company. This is, if you're running switch and go cans, this is the ultimate can when it comes to a mulch mate, and you can get it directly from us. On these containers here I showed you earlier, these are 14-foot versions. Okay, so we can do 14s, 11s, 9s, you name it. At the end of this video, I'll put a couple pictures in of what other style trucks look like, other beds look like. We can do different colors, all that kind of stuff for you. So if you are in the market for one of these bad boys, give us a call. Go to mulchmateusa.com, fill out the form submission at the very bottom of the page. Check it out. You're going to absolutely love this. The quality of it is second to none. It's an absolutely beautiful system. With that said, guys, I hope you have an awesome day. Thanks for joining us. Having an absolutely blast with you guys in this industry, and I'm grateful. Grateful for my team. I'm grateful for my manufacturing partners, Belmont Trailers, all you guys. So with that said, have an awesome day. I'll catch you in the next one. I am going to go to Belmont right now to go get another trailer for another customer. Have an awesome day, guys.